All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. So I wanted to make another video about a fallen bodybuilder by the name of Sonny Schmidt. I figured with the events of this week, I should do some more fallen bodybuilder tribute videos talking about bodybuilders that passed away at a relatively young age and passed away, you could say, before their time. So Sonny Schmidt was a really good bodybuilder from the 1990s. I remember seeing him a lot in some of the older bodybuilding magazines that my dad had from that time period. He had a really impressive physique. He was a Samoan bodybuilder. So for those of you who don't know what Samoan means, that is the same ethnicity or lineage as The Rock. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is also Samoan, so that is his ethnicity. And really, when I look back at pictures of Sonny Schmidt, the thing that really stuck out to me the most was his conditioning. Really, overall, his physique as a whole wasn't crazy impressive. He didn't really have any crazy standout body parts, but it looked to me, pretty much any given picture that you see of Sonny Schmidt, his conditioning was absolutely insane. So that's one of his standout qualities, in my mind at least. So Sonny Schmidt had a very vast career as an IFBB professional bodybuilder. Like I said, he competed primarily in the 1990s. And during that time period where he competed, he would compete in over 50 professional bodybuilding competitions. He was 5'10", about 240 pounds on stage. So a relatively big bodybuilder for that height. And his most crowning achievement was winning the 1995 Masters Mr. Olympia. So he is a Masters Mr. Olympia champion. So this guy wasn't just some random bodybuilder that passed away. This guy was actually a very top-tier bodybuilder and had some very impressive, titles and a very impressive bodybuilding resume behind him. So Sonny Schmidt was born and raised in Samoa, and he would later move to Australia, where he became good friends with Tony Doherty. So that is the guy that owns Doherty's Gym. You guys may be familiar with him. He works with Josh Arnardowitz. He's very good friends with him. You might see him in some of those videos. He's a very prominent figure in the fitness industry today. So Sonny Schmidt primarily lived in Australia during his competitive career and would travel over to the U.S. when he would compete. So some unique facts about him: he was actually the first Samoan to ever hold an IFBB Pro card. He was also the first Samoan to ever win the IFBB Masters Mr. Olympia, and he was also the first Samoan to be featured on the cover of a bodybuilding magazine. So a lot of firsts for him in the Samoan heritage. So if we go over his competitive history, in 1991, he placed second at the very prestigious Night of Champions. That was one of the three biggest shows at the time. You had the Night of Champions. You also had the Arnold Classic, and you had the Mr. Olympia competition. So second place at one of the three biggest shows in bodybuilding. That same year, he would take second at the Danish Grand Prix. He would place top 5 in several Grand Prix in 1991. So 1991 was a very good year for him. In 1993, he would place 8th at the Olympia. In 1994, he would place 10th at the Olympia and 10th at the Arnold Classic. In 95, he would place 13th at the Olympia. Then in 95, he would also win his first Masters Mr. Olympia and his only Masters Mr. Olympia. Then he would compete in a handful of Grand Prix throughout the rest of the 90s, placing sometimes in the top 6, but most of the time around the 7th place spot. Then he would compete again in the 1996 Masters Mr. Olympia only, and he would place second there. Then in the 1997 Masters Olympia, he would place second again. Then he did the 1998 Arnold Masters, which they don't do anymore either, and he placed second there. Then his final competition was in 1999, and that was the Masters Mr. Olympia, where he placed third. So towards the end of his life, there was actually some allegations that he was helping smuggle drugs from Mexico. But I don't know really how much credibility some of those claims really do have. But the main point of this video is the fact that he died at a relatively young age. He died at the age of 50 years old, and his cause of death was cancer. So the reason I thought Sonny Schmidt was relevant was because, obviously, with the death of Rich Piana and Dallas McCarver lately, I wanted to start paying tribute to more bodybuilders that died young and kind of tell their stories. And if you look up Sonny Schmidt, there's a lot of forums and a lot of articles out there that kind of link his death to steroid use and link his cancer to steroid use. So a lot of people think that his bodybuilding career is kind of what led to his untimely death. But I think there's a lot of other factors that played in as well, because I think there was definitely some recreational drug use involved there as well. But the point is, Sonny Schmidt was a legendary bodybuilder. His life ended very early, and I just wanted to tell his story in a video. So please give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Nick Strength and Power, signing out.